going to be constructed in Wairoa. Someone happy to move something there after a little discussion? You happy to move, Councillor?
Yeah, after that discussion I'll move that, which is basically no.
So we've got a mover over here, and you're happy to second, Councillor Dick?
No change to the annual plan.
Okay, anyone wish to speak?
No, I think it's all been said before. I think this is something that the territorial authorities have to look at, and they have to most probably approach other businesses and form partnerships with them to actually provide the money for this.
I'd have a comment before I put the motion on the basis that there was, back in the days when water transport was in conjunction with rail, but predating rail, there was a port in the Wairoa River with a wharf, and it had its own board, it had its own manager, it had all these great attributes and service that growing fledgling farming area well. I think Wairoa has a great story to tell about its river and its connectivity, its life force, all those things. And I think the vision that could be happening up there, and something that I would really get in tune with, is telling our story through something along the Wairoa riverbank, and telling it in a simple form, but demonstrating the past with a view to the future. And that river has been a huge part of that community. It has been that community basically throughout its life. So I have some sympathy for this. I have some sympathy for our young people up there. Tamariki are challenged in a whole lot of ways. They need as much help as they can get. We need to get people to stop in that town and spend their money and support. But I just can't support this at the moment. So I'm going to vote with the status quo.
So that's probably my exact position. I mean, if we had a unified council and we were voting for this, I would go for it. And this council does represent the whole region. And this is a town that really needs a lift up, despite the fact that sometimes they don't think it themselves. It's a town that I'm sure the ratepayers that voted me in would be very keen to support, putting their rates, some of their rates, into that area to give these guys a hand. And you know, as a person that passes through that town a lot, this would be really a wonderful facility. So, but right now, it's probably not the right time, and I think that's probably where you are, Mr. Chair. But this is something I would really like to look at going forward again. So, I'm torn on this one.
Councillor Barker.
I just want to say briefly, I admire the emotion, the sentiment of the last two speakers. I understand them. But if I had that amount of money and I was going to spend a Wairoa and think about the kids, I would not spend it on a playground. Let's be clear about this. Our objective here is environmental. If I was to do that, I'd say, well, here's a pile of cat traps. Go catch some cats. Do some other things with bird life. Here's some trees, plant them, I think, do some riparian branches, something which is consistent with what our mandate is. We have gone to others and argued that we are specialists in environmental protection. That's our expertise. That's what we've argued, and we should maintain that. And if we're going to do things to help communities, it should be in the vein in which our expertise is. We're not here good at doing playgrounds. We might play around here, but we don't do playgrounds. I think we should go and do other things.
Glad we're clear on that. Councillor Dick? No, no other speakers. As an aside, the people that voted me in would be keen on it too, Councillor Graham. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Now, we've done Clifton Virus Schools. Excuse me, 2000.
Page 18. It actually means an extra $1,600 on Project 895. Although they were actually requested increased funding to 20,000, and we already pay them 18,400, not 18, as they understood it to be.
Enviro schools have been a big part of our annual plan discussions for some years now, just for those that are new. And there was always a concern from some of us that the spread wasn't wide enough, but actually now they're getting out into all the areas. Central Hawke's Bay is pretty well represented now. Could be more. They do some good stuff. So,
Chairman, I need to put my neck out on this and suggest that we do increase the budget to Enviro schools to 20,000.
Seconder for that? You're happy to second that, Councillor Pipe? You wish to speak?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, they do a very extensive job in working with schools to bring about change, not only within the schools but within the communities that the schools influence. It is a way of our getting quite important messages out there. It's a very structured program that works through a variety, and we've been very pleased to see that it has increased to a wider number of schools and to a wider variety of schools. So it's now covering high schools, intermediates, primary schools and preschools. And I think in this way that we probably do get for that investment quite an impact, and it is something that we should continue to support. I also would like to note that the considerable amount of funding, and our funding is reduced, the government funding was cut completely, and that the Nina Braithwaite Foundation stepped into the breach there, and we're grateful that that's been done.
Councillor Pike.
Yeah, my work on the Environmental Awards Committee before it was disbanded had a lot to do with the Enviro schools and the work that they do. Fantastic work. And it's grown even further since those days, as Councillor Scott was saying. But I think it's the leverage aspect too, that what we put in there, we're actually getting good leverage for other funding, and they do a great job.
Councillor Barker.
I'm happy to support the amendment, but don't before you think that I've compromised on my principle. I'm going to move on the proviso the Chief Executive find the difference within baselines from within budget. So if you're going to inflate it, it's going to have to come somewhere else. I'm sure the Chief Executive can find the difference, but I'm arguing that there should be no increase until we are absolutely convinced it's necessary. This has got a real good feel value about it, but the size of it, we should be able to find out internally. And with that amendment, I'll support it.
You move that as an amendment. So we've got a seconder for that? Lapses. That's fine. It has been recorded for all time, recorded for posterity on the video camera. Okay, so the motion is there. No further discussion. Can I put that motion? All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried, no. Yeah. Recorded? You want it recorded? All those in favour? And against, and recorded. Thank you. Okay, Paige. What is our time? Let's have a 5-minute comfort stop and back with a quick run to the home base. How's that? 5 minutes. I think there's a coffee possibly waiting.
Councillor Barker, you missed the big news.